Hell yeah, it's really a huge honor to have you on our Quebec radio show, Prescription Punk Rock. For people that don't know you, who the hell are you?
I am a Northern Norwegian girl that goes by the name of Ida Maria, and I make music for a living.
And a really original music. There's a lot of influences in what you're doing. But for people in Quebec that never heard about what you're doing, how it started up, how your solo career started up.
How it started up?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I think I started with a heartbreak when I was maybe 14. And I had to make a song about it because I didn't know how else to express it. And I played that song for my classmates, and they reacted in a crazy way. Like they were so excited, and they wanted to hear it again and again. And so I realized that I had something special, and I just decided to try and develop it. So I got into songwriting at the age of 14, and I learned to play guitar at the same time. And then I learned to play bass, and I went on to do some. I studied music in college, and then I think you could say I started out when I was like 19, just playing shows, and I got the band together when I was maybe 21, and very soon after I got signed by a big label, and we were on world tour by the age of 22. So, and I released my first album around that time, Fortress Around My Heart, it was called. And I think we could have toured that album forever because we were on tour for forever. And when I literally had to stop, like forcefully, because it looked like we would never stop. So, and then I released another album with all this experience of being on tour, and what became important for me after that experience was that I wanted to do more eclectic music. Like my first album was more maybe pop, punk rock, indie rock-ish kind of formatted. And then after touring that album for like several years and playing those songs again and again, I was like ready to break out of the mold and really experiment. And I've kind of been on an experimental journey since then, because I just promised myself that I'm not gonna I will not repeat myself. I'm not going to repeat myself. I can make the same formatted music, and I can probably sell tons more albums and stuff and get a lot of radio play, but that's not what motivates me. What motivates me is creativity and expression and experimenting, and not to forget communicating with people, like I love to communicate through music. I'm a bit of a social alien, and music has always been my way to kind of make my mark somehow. And it's like, okay, I fail on all levels in life, but music is somehow the way that I'm always able to bring it all back home. So it's very important for me, and I protect my creativity with my life. I'm like, from other people's negativity or whatever. So I'm just like, I made a lot of choices in my life, some tough choices, some principle things, where I've had choices between being a millionaire or writing what I believe in, like these things. And I've decided to go with the creative thing, like I love music. I really do. So
it's really impressive the direction that you took. Let's be honest, a lot of people would have choose the money, and a lot of that it's a choice, and I respect that, because at some point I know a lot of you are starving and it's really hard out there. So when an occasion like that came, it's easy to take the wallet and don't really care of what you're doing after that with music, because a lot of people will say, no, you can't do that, you have to do that. And you fit in that square they're creating around you to promote you. And I think you did the right choice. And I have so much respect for that, to choose to evaluate with music, not just do something that you're not proud of, It's not work, it's passions, and to keep that, it's something really important for for a lot of people like me that play artists that do it for the right reason, not for the money after all, because it's cool. But most of the band that have a big success, at some points they're not happy anymore. It's really
Yeah,
tough out for
I
them.
know. I'm sorry for interrupting. Yeah, but I know a lot of these people. I have seen a lot of successful people in my life. I met a lot of stars, and I've moved in those circles myself, and I shook hands with all these A-lists, and a lot of people that I know has killed themselves, or committed, or overdosed, or there's a lot of ways to live this life. And there is a lot of holes you can fall down in. One thing that I say, I help a lot of young people to work on their creativity, like I help them with rap or whatever. And one thing that I truly believe in is that creativity is the opposite of destructivity, or like destruction. So if you are depressed and destructive, and you stuff yourself with drugs, maybe could be that you are an artist and that you are not creating, and that's why you are medicating yourself. So what I found out is that you kind of have to create yourself out of destruction. You have to put the creativity first, and with focusing on that, you find a way. Because if you are creative, and most people are, honestly, it doesn't matter like what the level of your talent is, but most people are naturally creative. If we don't allow ourselves to use this creativity, we can destroy ourselves. And this goes for all ages, all categories of people, rich or poor. So this is very important to me, and I like I said, I'm fighting to protect my creativity with my life. It's super important, and money is energy. Money is fluid; it comes and goes. But for a creative person, it's hard to put money in front and center, because it's in itself quite meaningless. And for a creative person, you can create things, so you can basically create what you need, entertainment, or plant potatoes, or so yeah. But of course, like, I've had to learn how to handle money along the way, because money is a part of life, like. But I know a lot of people who just are in it for the music, and they just, money is like this weird thing that they don't never get a hang on, because it's different brains that you use also, I think.
It's so true. We see that you're very intelligent. You really analyze, your career and everything. And it's not everyone who do that, but it's important, and that you share, your experience, and, the idea you have with that. It's to youngster, it's really important to, because they don't know, we were at an era in the 90s where we were encouraging like the sex, rock, and
Oh yeah.
drug, rock and roll, and we saw all
Yeah.
those, not all, but a lot of people die in that road. It's not an healthy way to live your life. And it's cool to see that there's a new generation out there. They're vegetarian, they don't eat meat, they're not drinking, they drink tea, they're very wealthy and healthy, because they really take their career, it's important for them, but they're having fun, but they do it, with their brain, really intelligence. And I appreciate that there's a new generations coming and changing everything, because we're kind of wrong in a way.
I mean, when I grew up, I had to go to bars and drink beer to network with the old dudes that were the bosses in the music business, and it was like your ticket to access this world was that beer. It's like you have to drink that beer and hang out. And unfortunately, like, turns out like I'm a Northern Norwegian Viking, you know, and I always drank like the guys. So, and even more than the guys, I would drink them under the table, you know, and like, who is the toughest? You know, of course, it's me. So, like, I had a very big alcohol consume for the first 10 years of my career. It was like an old pirate, you know, and I didn't really consider it a problem because everybody was drinking. It was a part of the culture in Norway and in the UK, and but then I made it to the States and Los Angeles, which I really loved. I loved the city for its creativity, not for the silicon boobs, you know. Like, I really loved the fact that this is a city where people come from all over the world to be creative. So, and what I found out was like my way of drinking was not corresponding with the Los Angeles lifestyle, because they care about health. They care about being strong from the inside so you can do the job that you're there to do. And that was totally opposite of where I came from. I came from a culture that celebrated destruction in a way, you know, and what really saved me, one of the things that saved me was that I met Iggy Pop in person. I got to work with him, and he was my big idol, you know, because my manager was like, if you could choose anybody to work with, who would you pick? And I was like, Iggy Pop. And he was like, okay, cool, you get a call soon, you know. And he actually called me when I was in the loo at my parents' cabin. I was waiting for the call for 2 days, and then I went to the loo, and then Iggy called while I was at the loo, and I couldn't tell him. I was like, hi, you know. And after I tried to explain to my mom, Iggy Pop called me, you know, and she was like, who's that? And my dad is like, that's a very famous punk rock star, you know, come on. And I was like, but my point is, I met him. He saw me, like he felt me, he saw me, he understood me. I came straight from tour. I was in a tour basically, and we were going to do a video together, and the treatment was about me being like violent and kicking things and being like this tough chick, and me and Iggy, we were talking like, do you like the treatment? Like, no, I don't like it. Do you like? No, we don't like it, you know, because it was so destructive and negative. So we both were like, okay, let's just do whatever we want to do, you know. We are punk rockers, and everybody expects us to be like, you know, punk rockers, but we know that punk rock isn't about studs and jackets, and it's an attitude, right? So what we did instead is like, we did like a Tai Chi session in a green screen room. Like, we just played around like kids. We rolled on the floor. We had so much fun. We were just playing. And we did like an anti-punk video basically. And Iggy said to me during the course of this project, he said that, you know, you don't ever have to cut yourself up on stage or beat yourself up or do anything destructive towards yourself, because if you do that one time on stage, people are going to expect it every time, you know, and you just don't want to put yourself in that position. Because I did that. He said about himself, I started cutting myself. I did it one time. I cut myself up and tried to, you know, to make some blood or make some, you know, scene, you know. But then people were just screaming for blood for the next years every time I went on stage. So that sentiment, you know, that the biggest star within my genre, the legend himself, takes my hand and says, you do not have to destroy yourself in the process, you know. You have my permission to take care of yourself, you know. And that eventually turned, like, that was a seed that he planted, and it eventually turned into me getting help for my you know, addiction issues, and, you know, and it just kind of started this road of me cleaning up my life because Iggy said so, you know. And I came back to Norway, and let me tell you what happened in Norway. It was like my new attitude, which was more healthy and more about constructing and not destructing. It got a lot of negative reactions because they were holding on to the rock myth, and actually turned into an argument in the newspapers where I was like, you know, you don't have to be drunk to be creative. That was my sentiment. You do not have to be drunk to be creative. That I know for a fact. And there was some punk rock dudes. I'm not going to mention names, but there's some little bit like big shots, whatever. And they were like, it's actually cool to be dead in rock music. That was their argument back. And it went back and forth like that, you know, for a while. And it was an interesting discussion because, you know, there is something called the rock myth, you know. I've seen people and friends go under because of that myth. It's a myth that means fantasy. It means imagination. Like, it doesn't mean reality. It's a myth. It's a story. So it's about storytelling, but it doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself, you know? It doesn't mean that you have to destroy yourself. We are in show business. We are in show business. We show things, but we don't, it doesn't have to be, I mean, authenticity is is a it can be misunderstood.
It's so true. And, you know, we saw, you know, with the pandemic, it opened a lot of eyes, you know, with mental issues. You know, and we now know that if you took that road, it's, you know, it's like playing Russian roulette. You know, it's you never know. And it takes years. It can take 20 years, 30 years for some. But when it hit you bad, you know. And yeah, it's I repeat myself, it's a choice. Some take that road and they do well, some don't. But I think that as an artist, you do it for yourself first. It's not about ego or anything. When you create something, it's for you first, and then you show that to people around the world, you know, in your case, and then they have their emotion and everything around that. So, you know, it's be comfortable with what you do and what you release. Because I met so much artists and they're like, I hate that records, I hate that song. Why the fuck did you fucking release it if you hate it?
Yeah, it's painful.
You have to do it for yourself. It's one
Mm.
life, you know? So at the end, you
Yeah,
have to be proud with everything that you release. And I think
yeah,
it's the case with you. It's different every time. It's so original. There's so much influences, but at the end, we got something that it's pure, that it came from the heart with that fire and that passions, you know. And that's what I'm looking for now. You know, as a music lovers, I'm trying to find something different. I don't want to hear another Metallica or
yeah.
whatever. They're there, and it's cool. They did the
See,
career.
and I know what you're talking about, and this was my problem when I started working in the States, because you have the formatted radio stations, right? So it is basically a recipe of how what something should sound like, you know. And to me, I'm like, yeah, I can totally do this package thing, you know. It's very easy for me. Songwriting, producing, recording is very easy for me. That's like, you know, but I can't make myself do it, you know. I was in the studio with Katy Perry. She wanted the rock song from me, like, you know. I can't do it, you know. Like I'm too creative. I don't know. And I give myself freedom to be. And what was I going to say? Yeah, I have this saying that is like, if you're true to yourself, you're automatically original, because we're all different. If you try to copy somebody else, you are not original, right? So it's many people think, and many people think they have to create something completely new. But of course, you are using the tools that everybody's using. That's the same chords. You switch them around. What is important is that you ask yourself, do I like this true to me, you know? Do I get excited about this, you know? If I do, and I believe in it, I do not surround myself with naysayers. I pick my critics, you know. It's like, if you're going to criticize me, it's because I picked you to do that. I don't listen to what everybody says. I don't care. I have a few people that I trust, and it's not that they say that everything I do is great. No, I trust their opinion, you know. So I don't have people shooting down my ideas before they have a chance to rise, you know. I protect them. I'm like, you know, this, nobody's going to hear this until I am sure that, you know, it has ground to stand on. And then it's like, and then I send it to maybe a few people, and they're like, yeah, this is cool, or nah, forget about it, you know. And then it's like, okay, then it's sorted out, and then I can move on and record or whatever. but this is my process, you know, and this is how I make sure that I do the music that I believe in. And it hasn't always been like that. I have been in major labels, and I have been under big scrutiny, and everything has been measured, and I've had a lot of people in my soup that has no idea what they're talking about, and they have very strong opinions, and they have a lot of power, you know, and it's a very frustrating. I'm sorry about the noise. I can close the door. It's a full summer here. Is it
Yeah,
noisy?
birds. It's so cool. It's
Birds, yeah, I have
refreshing.
lots of birds.
They're
And
singing. They're happy. They love it. They're singing
yeah,
your
this
song.
is my ecosystem right here. No, so you know, I learned a lot. You know, powerful people with a lot of money, they have a lot of opinions, but they don't necessarily know what they're talking about, and they are used to getting their way. And for a creative person like me, I don't have time for that stuff, you know. I just don't. I know when I do something that it needs to meet the world, and when I'm not able to get it out, it is the most painful thing in the world. And I've been in that situation for so long. This is the first time I release my own music, that I'm paying for it myself. I own it myself. I'm absolutely bankrupt now. It's like you know, it's crazy, you know, but I don't give a damn, because finally I have now made a connection directly with my fans for the first time in my life, and I'm so excited about that. And I don't expect numbers to be like big or listening. I don't care. Like, I just want that movement to start. You know, this is where I am. I'm just starting. So I'm so overwhelmed by the response, and like so many people are reaching out. The Michael Jackson's guitar player the other day was like, can I play with you? I was like, are you serious? You know, Tommy Lee wants to make songs with me. Like, I'm Mötley Crüe, you know. I'm like, whoa, you know, that's cool, you know. So
You deserve it. You deserve it. You mention it. Punk is not about the Mohawk. It's about, having an opportunity of selling your soul and refuse it. And that's what you did. You choose the hard path, but you have the experience. You've been through hell, and you like you said, you were in major labels and everything. So you know how the game is played.
yeah,
And you took everything cool from it, positive, and you're gonna put it in your career now. That's it on your two end. If it's working, it's because of you. If not, it's because of you. There's no one else you involved in what's gonna happen. But let me tell you, that album is cool. It's crazy. People gonna love it, and we need that. We're at that time, and with the pandemic, can you imagine how crazy it's gonna be in a couple of months? People are ready, and you're gonna see people that you never saw in your life getting to show, because when you take off something to people, they want to see it even if they didn't care before. So it's gonna be a huge wave of love, because it's kind of surreal of releasing something and not be able to tour the world and see people, but it's
yeah.
gonna happen.
Wow, thank you so much. That's nice words, you know. I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, honestly. The only thing I know how to make music. That's what I know, and I stick to it, you know. I'm
Yeah,
sticking to
that's
it.
all you need. I heard somebody said, if you have good songs, you don't need a fucking label. You don't need anybody. You have good songs and you're proud and you want to play them. That's all you need. People want to have fun, and that's going to be, I think, the main thing. People will not, they will go to show, and the music's going to be like second, just being surrounded with people, having a drink and not wearing a mask or worrying about getting a disease that we don't really understand. So, it's going to be magical, and you're at the right time, right place. And, that's the thing, you took your experience to create something that you're proud of. And that's why it's working, because you didn't care and you didn't put yourself, when you're on a major, there's so many stress involved. It's kind of, it kind of makes you sick doing the record. You just want to finish it and, it be a hit out there and everything's cool, but it's not working like that. It's really gambling. So, when you
Sometimes
take,
this is gonna sound so arrogant, um, but sometimes I feel like Nelson Mandela. You know, I feel like I've been sitting like this, just holding my breath, waiting for my time to speak my truth, you know, and really like go out and make the change, you know. And for me, it's about showing the world different female characters. I have never fitted into the mold. I grew up with a very loving father who taught me everything that a man knows, you know, from bass playing, how to turn on a bass amp, how to build you know, a house, how to do this and that. A lot of boys activities I grew up with, and that left me out of a big specter of female side of things, like nail polish and hair and makeup and stuff. I never catched up on that. But then I came into like the show business, and they started putting makeup on me, like, and I was like, what is this, you know, what are you doing? And they're like, you are a girl, you have to have eyeshadow. And I was like, why? I mean, you know, why do I have to wear eyeshadow when I never ever do that in my daily life? And suddenly I'm going on TV, and you guys decide how I'm gonna look because I'm a girl. I've experienced this from the start, and I've been livid from the start, and I've been like so confused about this. While the boys in the band maybe got a little powder, you know, or some blush, and I'm like, why do they get blush and I get the whole face thing? What's the, well, you know, my skin can't, you know, I'm not, you know. And the worst part was like when I came to New York, and the first thing they did was like, okay, we're gonna go to the nail salon. And I'm like what are we going to do with our time in New York? Are we going to a nail salon? Are you joking with me? Like, are we gonna spend 2 hours there? Are you joking? What am I gonna do with these hands if I have long nails? I'm a guitar player, I'm a bass player. Are you crazy? You know. And this has always been the case for me, and I'm tired of it, you know. I'm just like, don't
Wow.
try, you know. I can get violent if you try to put some fucking nails, you know. I'm sorry, did I swear? You know, this makes me livid, you know. And it's just because as a woman you're taken for your face and your body, as a man you're taken for your brain and your abilities, you know, in this business. And I have been going all the way, like, can you take me for my brain and my abilities, you know, and not take me for my face and my body? I don't care about showing off my body, you know. I can do it now because I have distance to it, like it's all, you know, gone its course. But but I don't work like that. I grew up with Britney Spears and Spice Girls and anorectic stars and anorectic models, and I was like, I wish there was something else, you know. And I was like, and I started making music, and I was like, well, I'm gonna at least show the world that there's different types of women out there. You know, there are women that can actually use an axe and play bass. You know, still to this day, people are like people of ignorance are like, you're not a bass player, and I'm like, well, who is to say that I'm not a bass player? Well, I own 3 basses and a couple of amps, and I played bass since I was 9 years old. So I don't know how you define that, but you know, but there's so much prejudice against women, you know, and the reason why there's so few of us in this business and in rock is because it's so hard. It is so hardcore job. They compare it to mining. They compare it to coal mining. You spend your life inside dark places, and you lift heavy stuff, and it's a hard physical, mental, spiritual, you know, job. So a lot of women, they just don't last in this, you know. It's just too hard. But it's also because of the way that it's constructed. It's constructed for men, so you kind of have to be a man to survive in it. And I've been trying to keep my femininity somehow, you know, in this, but not use that, not be like, I've refused so much this need to put me into a dress and dress me up and put makeup on and girly girl me, you know. And meanwhile, while I've had my 10-year in jail, so to speak, in the music business, I have been watching like Billie Eilish, Sigrid from my country, and these women that come out, Girl in Red, now through the indie world and through the internet, them actually just releasing their music to the internet, and the people are responding like, we want this, you know, because there's no label in between messing up the communication. So finally now you can see women going on stage without makeup, maybe for the first time in history, it seems like, almost, you know, or maybe for the first time since the 60s, you know, where there was more freedom in a way. So I mean, sounds like a small thing, but it can be impossible almost to be yourself as a girl in this business. But yeah, I'm still around. I'm still trying.
And you know, it's a great point to talk about. You know, I've been in the scene. You know, I'm I'm turning 40, and I've been involved in the scene for the last 20 years. And yeah, I saw a lot of things, and it pissed me off. You know, but the good thing is there's a change in mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the middle. Our parents and grandparents have that macho mentality, and
Mm-hmm.
we have some. Some of
Mm-hmm.
us still, you know, portray that bad image of guys, you know, being powerful and, you know, haha, you're just a girl. Girl don't play bass. Fuck you. It changed, and it was never that. Girls have always been rocking the world since the beginning of punk rock. If you take X, Exene was amazing. She was a strong woman. She was involved in a time where it was hard. There was girl getting rape up there. You know, it's crazy. And the kids, our kids, are really more, you know, you don't do that, and we're not tolerating that, and it's gonna change. So, like, I think that we were like kind of the pivot of everything, and now it's changing. It takes time, and unfortunately, it had to be faster. But when I
I'll tell
see
you a
Ben,
story. I'll tell you a little story, like just something I recalled now. Like I went on stage. It was a summer festival. You don't have sound check. You just have like line check. And there was this dude. He was on the stage manager, and he was like, so. And he had obviously not done his homework. So he came up to me and he was like, so you probably just want a DI box then for your acoustic guitar. And I was like, who says that I play acoustic guitar? And why? I was like, I can't plug my electric guitar into that thing. I have, you know, a Fender. I have a Fender on the deluxe on my, or reverb or whatever, on my rider. But since you asked that way, I would like you to roll out all the amplifiers that you have, so I can try them all. You know, just to make sure that I you know, that I really pick the right one. So I made him roll out every single amp that they had backstage, because he came with that DI box and the acoustic guitar thing with me. I was like, yeah, no, I'll try the next one. No, this doesn't work. No, this is not. The sound is too. No, they don't take it out. You know. So I just did that. I was like, that's, you know, until I got my amp, which was the one that I had ordered. I was like, okay, yeah, this works. Thank you. Get off. Get off.
you know, it's cool to see that there's way more girl now than ever, you know. And when I see Ben like War on Woman, writing the safety book, how to create a safe space for women in music, it's fucking important. It's not, you know, the problems I think was the industry was just about the image. They didn't care about what's inside. You know, it's just we're gonna show a beautiful girl, Britney Spears, and we don't want to know that she's a strong, independent woman, that she can write, that she can. No, we don't care about that. Just show her like half naked, and it's really bad, you know. And when I've got my little girl, she's now 11. When I saw like those video on TV with my girl, it was like I don't want her to see that. It's not. It's not it's not the fucking reality, and I don't want that. Music is not about being naked. It's about playing, god damn it, and creating, and like you said, you know, pushing yourself, and you know, being a better human and learning in that process. And that's the problem, and it have to change. And I know a lot of people like me, if we see something, we interfere right now. You know, if you fuck with a woman, get the fuck out of here. You're not, it's not punk. And you know, there's some of people that came to the scene that didn't know a thing about punk. You know, the macho thing is not punk rock, and it has to
Mm-hmm.
have, because you
Mm-hmm.
girl rock. You rock, and I know a lot of girls that rock better than any guys out there. You know, it's not a matter of gender. We don't care if you're a guy, a girl. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like fucking race. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
change thing.
I live by the motto of Bill Hicks, the late stand-up comedian, and he says, "Play from your fucking heart." You know, that's my standard. You know, I want to see you burn. You know, and music is energy. It's a pure energy. It's nature. You know, and it's electricity. The electric guitar is. I think it's the only thing that human has created that encompasses all types of energy. It's like kinetic energy, electric energy. I don't know all these energies, but you can look up on Wikipedia. But the electric guitar is energy. You know, it's energy, and you plug it in, and out comes, you know, something magical. In my opinion, that's why I'm hearing damaged. You know, because I'm the kind of girl who's like, I buy an amplifier that's way too big for my use, and I put it in my living room, and I turn it up, and I sit right next to it with my ear right next to it. I'm like, play the loudest that I can, you know. And I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I have this problem, but I just love sound. I love the vibrations, you know. I can feel it and touch it and really harness that power. And when you do that on stage, it's the same thing. It's a shock to the system. It's not, music isn't invisible. It is very physical, you know. It is extremely physical. And I just love to go on stage and me with the band. And I always use metal musicians. That's my favorite, you know, is the metal guys, because they, first of all, they're the best players, and they are the nicest too, because they get out all the dirt on stage. So it's like me, I get all the anger out on stage so I can be nice, you know, the rest of the day. And and so metal musicians, you know, and great amps and great, you know, everything, and we plug in and we just smack you in the face, you know, and it hits the crowd, and they go back to us like, you know, and then you start this energy exchange that is just wild, and you levitate, you know, you go above ground, and you go in. It's a spiritual experience, you know, music and concerts, and it's about community, and it's about, you know, being there together, experiencing it together. It's magical for me. I will never get tired of it. And mosh pits are God's gift to humans, you know, and you know, and you know, mosh pits are amazing because it's anarchy, community expression, like it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, you know, mosh pits. I don't know. I can talk about, that's another interview, but like I love mosh pits.
But I get you, it's true. And when you see when it came out, it came naturally. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't something that a band planned to do. It was the people reactions. And that's the beauty of it. You never know the reaction of people. And they feed you with energy, and you feed them with energy. And it's all about fun, you know. It's all about those three letters, just having fun. People see you having fun, they want to have fun. So at the end, who's having more fun? Who cares? It's everybody energy out there, you know. And you know, we never, I think that a lot of people never, you know, take a step and look at it and analyze it. We were just taking for granted that there's show, and it's always going to be show and everything. And when we lost that, we understand that it was a therapy for everyone. And you guys should have, like, you know, you girls should have like the therapist salary, you know, for being out there and make us feel great.
Yeah, you know, one thing that I love to do at my shows is to invite girls up on stage, because I know that my job is something that few people get to do, you know. And a lot of girls, they come to my show, they think I'm so tough and cool and whatever, you know. And I'm really I like gardening, you know. I like flowers and stuff, but don't tell anybody, you know. But I'm soft and nice, but but thanks to Iggy Pop. but I like to take girls up on stage, and I like to give them an opportunity to go crazy on stage, and and absolutely scream in my microphone, like, try it, try it, just to go, just let it out for once, and it's funny too, and then, like, their boyfriends send them up, and then they come up and they're like and they're dressed nice, they're like going to concert, dressed nice, makeup is and hair is all good, and all these cute girls come up on stage, and then we go ballistic, and everybody loses their mind, and you can see, I love to watch this because I can see that they go from their, let's say, like a little bit stuck in their life and fear and social anxiety and being a girl and fitting in and doing, being a girl, which is a whole job, and and then they just let it go, they just don't give a damn anymore, and they just all hang out, and I love it. I love that. I love it when I'm able to, like, get them to kind of just, like, let it be, and just jump, just scream, just feel the energy, it's therapy. And I have one rule, and it's, if you are a guy and you want to come up on stage, because a lot of guys want to come up, but if they want to come up, they have to be naked. So
and do they do that?
Surprisingly enough, plenty of men have no problem getting undressed in front of people. So I mean, but it's a kind of also a good guarding, because not a lot of people want to get undressed, but sometimes you get a few dudes running across stage naked or in their underwear or whatever, but it's my way of using my power to kind of turn things around for the time being. It's like, we're objectifying the guy today, we girls, we are having fun, but the guys can be decoration for tonight, it's just something I have to do, so it's I have, sometimes I some naked butts show up on my Instagram as a I guess as a compliment or something, Thankfully, I don't receive much more.
Never said that. I remember one time I went to see CG Ramones at the Rock Fest in Montebello, and there was a guy with his girlfriend. When CG hit the stage, he undressed. His girlfriend were like taking his clothes, and he went naked in the slam. And it was so funny because you saw every fucking guy in the slam getting up there, and there was that guy surrounded with girls slamming at some Ramones songs playing by CG. But yeah, it's creating something different each time, that's the thing, because you play the songs maybe differently each night, or you change the set list, but still, if you want to take that part of it's like Spinal Tap doing all over and over again, you have to bring people and make them do something maybe stupid, but people gonna remember that show. Because I said, there's so much artists that are just playing, and I saw so many shows in the years that I don't remember those shows because there was nothing to different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've always been in love with trying to use the stage for, like, maximize the space. Like, a lot of bands, they like to just stand in their positions and play their music. Like, I don't look at it that way. I'm like, there's a whole place here. We can use the whole thing, And I don't really care about lights or set decoration, stage decoration. I don't care about that. What's important for me is that my musicians know that they cannot. There are no mistakes in music. Like, if I get a new bass player or somebody stand in for some other guy, and they're going to do their first gig with me or something, and they're nervous and they've been practicing all night and they know all the songs, and now they're going to go on stage. Like, what I'm always making sure of with my musicians is that they really, really know that they are there to express themselves. They're not there to satisfy me or play anything perfectly. So for me, the band and it has to be it has to be a group of people that really just want to have fun together. Like, we're gonna have fun tonight, And I had a situation where I had one of the most sought after sound guys in Norway. He was like always touring with the biggest stars, and he did like one off gig with us in a festival, And he was crying all the way back to Oslo because he was so happy, because he was like finally able to use all of the buttons on his soundboard. And he was like, and he was like, oh, and he was so grateful because he was like received, you know, in that way, and he felt relaxed, and he felt like he could just be himself, you know. And that's what I really, really care about. It's like, I don't care about the facade, you know. It's not about pretending. It's about coming from the inside, and like, what is inside here, and what can we put on the table, and how do we do it together, and how do we you know, connect that with the audience. And that's why I like to break all of the standard formatted stage thing where it's like, it's a square, you know, and you stay in that square. I like to run out in the crowd. I like to take the crowd up on stage. I like to climb in the, you know, climb in the roof, and like, and just kind of break the mold, you know, is what I'm all about.
So fun because, you know, kids don't have, you know, you have that energy that kids have of, you know, always creating, always they have a, you know, they have a lot of imagination and everything, and we lost that. I don't know where we lost that, but most of us, you know, you lost that part, and there's a few like you that still have it. And it's beautiful to see because, you know, you're not just challenging yourself, but you bring something with so much energy. It's really, it hooked me just doing that interview. I just want to see you live now. So we hope to see you around Canada. You know, I know a
Yeah,
lot of
I've never been. I've never been. I never made it to Canada. Oh my
people.
god, I have
We
to
have
go.
to see that.
I would love that.
And Quebec, the whole Quebec is really beautiful because, you know, we're kind of different than the rest of Canada because we're French Canadian, and there's most of the rest of Canada is English, so there's a lot of differences. But yeah, it's a beautiful place, you know, and we had a lot of connection with your country too. Maybe because we're Nordic and everything, but
Yeah,
most of people that I talk about, they're like, yeah, yeah, we love Quebec, we love Canada, and like, yeah, we love you guys too, and girls. It's funny.
yeah. And you don't have guns in the
No,
house.
fucking ate it. We ate it. We're more peace and love, and you know, we love party. We love every kind of music. It's just that, you know, in Quebec we're a conquer people. You know, the English conquer us back in the days, and we still have that mentality. So when there's people coming our way, we're so like, they're coming to see us. It's so cool. We're gonna have them for that tour. So yeah, it's a love affair about culture and music, I think, and the whole Canada is all about that.
That's my impression of Canada, really. That's my impression. It's a creative place. A lot of artists that I love comes from Canada, you know. And I think that in a way, any place that is a little bit outside of the main road, whatever, that's where interesting things come from. I feel the same way about Scandinavia too. It's like we are not stuck in the American or the UK mold, so we have some freedom to be different, and because of that, we have developed our own thing that we give to the back to the world, you know, and it works because we are not hung up on the same rules. We don't have the same parameters, you know. I live in a place that's kind of like Alaska. It's on the same height
Yeah,
as Alaska, and wild child from Alaska. and and I think that, you know, nature really makes it gives you it inspires you, you know. And your music, you just look at Björk, for example. Like, her music really sounds Icelandic, you know.
yeah,
And like, my music is the way it is because I've been wailing in the storms, the winter storms here since I was a kid. You know, I'm used to big nature powers. It's like, wow, you know, the storm the last winter, the storm took my parents' neighbor's balcony and moved it into my parents' garden. Like, the whole thing lifted and almost crashed into the kitchen. That's the kind of average storms we have up here, you know.
shit.
So
I found that Quebec was really a pain in the ass when it came to winters, but that is something. Mostly we've got -40. That's the, you know, that's the
I
coldest we get
I
here.
could I can't handle -40. I know my limits. I love snowmobiles, you know. Snowmobiles. Do you do the snowmobiling in Canada?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Done deal. I'm coming. I'm gonna be there. I love snowmobiles.
Special place for you. Make sure of that. And if you need anything, you just hit me. What's the best way to encourage you directly and grab the new record? Is there's gonna be bundles, shirts, or anything that people can do to help you directly with the new records?
And the only way it's accessible right now is digitally. So you can buy the songs digitally on any platform that sells music. T-shirts. I haven't been traditionally very interested in making T-shirts because I'm a crazy environmentalist, and I think there are enough T-shirts in the world. So again, we're back to the thing. I could have made tons of money on T-shirts. I've never really done that, and that's just a principle thing. So I don't really care about selling things, but I should. And my manager is probably going to tell me, like, you don't say that you don't care about, like, but this is my problem. I don't sell stuff.
It's a
I don't
good
want to fill up
problem,
the
sure.
ocean with more stuff. I'm just like, nah, you know. Send if you want to support me, send me something in the post. I don't know, like, I don't know.
I've got a better offer, people. Go listening to the song on Spotify, iTunes, or whatever, and learn them. And when she came to your town, fucking sing them. I'm sure it's gonna be the best reward you can get.
Yeah, that's my kind of thing. Yeah, come with me and let's have fun. You know, fun,
You're
for fun and for free.
you're such, you really inspire me. When I was reading about you, I felt that you were a girl of energy and that wanna, you know open all the doors and never leave a door closed. And doing that interview really proved that, yeah, you are few out there. There's few people like you, but we need you. It's really important. I know it was hard and you took hard decisions, but at the end, it's gonna change a lot of, it's gonna make people happy. And you're gonna change a lot of life doing that. And thank you for that. Thank you for losing money in the name of music.
Thank you, thank you. I've been planting potatoes and fishing fish now for a couple of years, and it's fine. It's great. I catch some big fishes, halibut, cod, mackerel. We like mackerel here. It's all good. It's all good. You know.
uh, I never went to your country, but I saw a lot of pictures. It's such a beautiful place, and yeah, I would do the same. I think, like fishing, get in the wood, and just discovering nature. Because you said it, you mentioned it. I think when you close to nature, you're close to life. That's the
Mhm.
start of it. And I
Yeah,
think that people that
I
are more
think
contact, they're more healthy in mind and they're more fun to talk than people that are way more like town and don't care about that, or people that hate animals. I never trust them.
no, no, yeah, no, yeah, and 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 I also think that humans need to be more in touch with nature so we understand our place in the world, because we think that we are on top, but we're not. We are part of it. So we have been running this show like as if we were on top of that, as if we were God. But now we're realizing with the COVID and the environmental issues, maybe we should humble ourselves a little bit. Maybe we are not as smart. Just because we can make cars and we can make rockets and we can go to the moon doesn't mean that we are so smart. According to human intelligence, yes, but there is a bigger intelligence out there. That's the intelligence that decides to move my parents' neighbor's balcony from one part of the world to the other. That's a bigger intelligence, and we don't like that. We don't like this intelligence that decides these things, but we have to respect it. We have to respect that we're smaller than that. And we have to learn from nature. And nature is brutal, and
Yeah.
humans are brutal. We are crazy. We are animals. So if you ever have any problem with anybody, just remind yourself they're an animal run by instinct. Food, sex, sleep. It's just we have very simple needs, really. So, you know,
It's so true. And I think that people gonna get back to the basic now with the COVID.
Yeah.
I hope there's gonna be less whining and people will more enjoy the moment. And as we at the end, it's the last month that we're stuck inside, and I know in 3 or 4 months, it's gonna be back at kind of normal, but slowly we're getting at it. So I think that people will more enjoy their moment and more realize how a culture got a hit. Because I hear a lot, we have to save cultures, but the culture was not, it was not that healthy before the COVID. It's not something new, new generation of band, they're starving, and most people didn't really care. But I hope
Hmm.
people will care and people will just enjoy everything, as simple as that.
And respect each other.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because we lost that, that sense of words. Ida,
Hmm.
it was a blast. Seriously, it's like talking to somebody that I know for many years. You're amazing as a
Same,
human
same,
being.
same, same. Right back at ya.
Thank you. You're a really smart, intelligent person, and seeing you going out there, and just driving and having fun. It's beautiful.
Did
Keep.
you see the Dirty Money video? Is that what you're talking about? The Dirty
And
Money video.
we're gonna do a huge special on you, and we're gonna play all new songs and everything. And like I said, if you have maybe 4 or 5 songs that you want me to play that you love, any artist that you want to share or songs that you love, just send it my way. We will play it, and I'm gonna send all the details how to listen to the show. And seriously, thank you so much. I
Thank
had a
you.
blast.
Thank you. Me too. Me too.
And when you came in Quebec, tea's on me or whatever you like to drink, it's on me. We're gonna wait for you, and let's work something to get you here in Canada.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down. I'm down.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Ida, thank you so much. Have a blast today, and I'm sure you didn't get the warning. You're stuck in a false contract that doesn't exist, that you never signed with me to come back as many times as you want. It's your show.
Perfect. Wonderful. Love it. Have
Thank
a
you
great
so much.
time. Mwah.
And we'll keep ourselves in touch, but make sure I'm going to send all the details. Like I said, we're not a podcast show. We're live in the studio in CKRL 89.1, but I'm going to send you the podcast. We have the podcast available too.
Nice, nice. Great. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So I don't know what you're going to do for the rest of the day. It's gardening. Have fun. My girlfriend loves to gardening. I'm not into that. I think
I
I
can show you I show you a little bit of my garden if you want to see
yeah.
it. I bought this place and it was an old guy and he lived here by himself and he loved trees, so he planted all the trees that he could plant basically. So it's like trees, 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 trees everywhere, and
Wow.
it's huge, this place. And I really bought it because I was going to plant potatoes, but I don't have a heart to cut down the trees, so I have to plant potatoes in my friend's garden instead. But right now my big project is these oak trees because they don't really grow in the Arctic.
Okay.
So I have nine of them, and now I'm making babies and I'm giving them away to people who want some trees, basically.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's what's up in between the rock and roll.
Yeah, people think it's a glam thing, but when you do something that take that much of energy, then you get back to something that is really more quiet and everything. It's a balance.
Yeah. I learned from the best, all these old rock stars, they all have some kind of a rose garden or something.
It's true. It's true. I saw the video of I think it's the guitar player of the Dam, and that's what he do. He's gardening, and
Yeah,
I love.
gardening. It's the best therapy for all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll that has gone past through your system.
Life. It's not nothing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well,
So, thank you again for the tour. Thank you for everything. And anytime you want to do something, um, just ask it and let's keep me in
cool.
touch when you're gonna tour and everything. I'm planning to go to Europe too, so maybe I can catch you on the road.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, for sure. Let's stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you too. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Cheers.